Welcome to the Midfoot Arthritis Guide. So as you can see, here's an x-ray of your foot, the midfoot, and this, normally it should be a little bit smoother right here, but as you can see, you got a little bit of bumps going on, and that could cause pain. So I'm going to go over everything. The most common cause of arthritis in the foot, especially in the midfoot, is osteoarthritis. There are other kinds like rheumatoid arthritis, psoriatic arthritis, traumatic arthritis, and gout, but if it's in the midfoot, it's probably osteoarthritis. And as you can see, here's a big toe joint with osteoarthritis. All it is a wear and tear arthritis where the joint space decreases, the cartilage eventually breaks down by your 40s and 50s, and you start getting this rough bone from abnormal forces in the joint. And the same thing happens to your midfoot right there. As the pressure comes up through your foot, it creates abnormal forces and creates some bone spurring. This is a very light case. So here's what happens. Normal joint, and eventually due to rubbing becomes uneven, flatter, more rugged, and leads to swelling of the joint. And here's that joint again, and specifically here's where it happens. In this area, the metatarsal, cuneiform joint, and the midfoot. So you can diagnose this by history and physical, taking foot x-rays, symptoms, and location. So we know since the location is the midfoot, it's probably osteoarthritis. It's an aching, throbbing pain that gets worse throughout the day. Feet that are more predisposed to this are high arched feet, as you can see right here, because as you push from the bottom of the floor, the pressure comes up through the column and compresses these bones in your midfoot. Now, slight adjustments could be made so it absorbs the impact a little bit better. Another foot that's common is, if you see this angle right here, as you develop a bunion, the pressure comes in on more of an angle rather than a straight line like this. So bunions, cavus feet, flat feet, walking improperly, poor shoes, walking in sandals for decades and decades could contribute to this. So it's in people usually over 40 and 50 have high arched feet, bunions, but could be flat feet. It could be one extreme or the other, but not normal looking foot. So here's what you do to start taking care of this conservatively and at home. Initially, you got to take some anti-inflammatories, so some ibuprofen, some other anti-inflammatories. Ice it for 15 to 20 minutes a few times a day. Massage it out. Here's a little tennis ball exercise in the area. And get some rigid inserts, so like some $20 to $30 inserts, PowerSteps. They're going to dramatically change your life. Another thing you can do if it's really bad, get what's called rocker bottom shoes. These are readily available, like companies like Skechers, other people make it. But what happens is there's a little bit less pressure in the front, so the middle and the back of your foot absorbs the pressure a little bit more, and you have less of a jamming going backwards like that. So that could be something that helps you. If not, get some better athletic shoes. Rather than like slip-on shoes. You can get some custom orthotics made. Get some physical therapy, and huge things. Stretch out your calves, the bottom of your foot, your hamstrings, your hips. There's usually something going on, and I'll address this in a second. And the last 5 to 10% of people may need surgery, as you can see here, fusing the joint, seeing your doctor, and even weight loss. The weight loss I recommend, but the surgery most people don't always need. And now here's what I was referring to with the stretching. Normally, everybody's supposed to have about 1/3 of heel touching to the midfoot touching to push off with your forefoot. But people who haven't stretched properly or over the years have knee problems, back problems, tight calves, tight plantar fascia, tight hamstrings, they don't walk properly. They could mostly walk on the front of their foot or whatever. Something is going on and it's causing improper foot strike and absorption throughout your foot. So that's why it's important to really see a podiatrist, because you can relieve the pain, but it's a band-aid instead of correcting the situation. Do not try any of this at home alone without supervision. This is presented by Michigan Foot Doctors. If you think our information helped you, give us a thumbs up and come visit the site for even more.